And welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. Who said that Pro Wrestling Inside and Out was not coming on here live? Now, that is if we actually are live. We have tried this a couple of times. So hopefully we are on live on Facebook. And I had a great time. What had happened was we ended up getting a little we got hacked, and so things had to change. We had to do some
we had to drop back and punt. And if we ever find out who this clown is, I've got some punting to do.
That's right. But we are safe and everything now. So there we go. But we had some great time. All right, Jack, let's go ahead. For those of you who have been watching us on YouTube, we're going to talk once again, since we're on Facebook at this point, we're going to talk about AEW. Jack, if you can go ahead and pick up what we talked about.
Well, we had started discussing that the ratings have not only not gone up for the Friday Night Rampage, even with the big, huge part 2 of their pay-per-view deal, live on TV, whatever, with CM Punk making his debut on TV in a match, ratings went down. Now, not a huge drop, but you would have thought they would have had a huge increase, or at least did, at their best of what they've done, when he debuted. But no, they're off. So at this point, with WWE ratings actually going up, I would say that the race is a little bit farther apart now.
All right, Rodney, you made a point while we wasn't on Facebook. You made a point, and could you want to go ahead and elaborate what you said?
Well, what I was saying is that it's not a surprise, being that from my opinion is that they aborted the original I guess you call founding, where you're developing new talent. They took and put all their eggs in the CM Punk basket, just like they did John Moxley and whoever else, like they picked up at Vince's garage sale. And the fact of the matter is that they can't build their own talent. So therefore, if you can't build your own talent, you certainly can't promote somebody else's talent either. So in my opinion is they are going to have to make investments on the new wrestlers, try to get them over if they can. The bottom line is they do not know how to build. I think you had said something about building, so I'll let you pick up from there.
Well, I talked about why did they go ahead and put Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whatever he's calling himself this time, against Omega already on television. Within a week, he's going against them. That should have been built for a huge. I believe now we are on. Michael Barr asked about but I think we are on Facebook now, unless we got knocked off again.
Yeah.
So I hope that it. We are online and everything going on right. Maybe we will not have problems. We should have that thing, all technical difficulties, because we have those quite often. But when you're doing something live, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. At least we're live. We're not just pre-taping this. So, but no, I think at some point, when you're looking at professional wrestling, it's not as easy as people want to believe that wrestling is. It takes a lot of thought and to be able to get somebody over and know how to get them over. And years ago, it took the wrestler and the promoter to do so. But if you didn't get over, you got fired. So you were moved on to the next territory, and you could have got over in the next territory as well. Anything else going on? We'll go ahead and get to the insiders. And since we were late,
the only thing I will bring up is Candy Devine has been in the hospital for several days. She's having a lot of health issues and has been for a while. So let's just remember her. I haven't heard anything recently, but hopefully she'll be out and home here pretty soon.
What have we found about Charlie Smith? I know he was in the hospital.
Charlie is still in the hospital. There's no updates that I've seen. I checked a few hours ago.
All right. So a lot of people sick right now. So let's go ahead and say hello, everybody, since we're a little late anyway. Wendy Harkins is with us evening, guys. Chaplain Freddie Rooster Roper, he is with us as well. I think I'm about to sneeze.
Oh,
don't stop.
no.
There you go.
There you go.
Chaplain Freddie Rooster Roper. Beautiful photograph of painting that he had just done that I just saw. Tremendous.
Fishing in the Dark, I believe, was the title of it.
Oh, so it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So if you're not friends with him, get over there and get friends with him. I've been here answering my own questions.
Let us know, because we're searching for answers.
Hello from Glen Allen Sheldon, Michael Rollerson.
Hey, you got it right the first time, then
messed it up the second time there. Good evening, everyone. Got you on Facebook finally. Yes, we had some technical difficulties. Hello, guys. Hello again, guys. Hello for the third time, guys. Yes. If you were on our YouTube page, by the way, if you've not signed up, and it's very easy, all you gotta do is subscribe to the page on YouTube. Get over there and do that. If you have not done it, go right now to youtube.com. Well, don't do it right now, but when we get through today, /Pro Wrestling Inside Out and subscribe to the page. A lot of times we have very little problems with YouTube.
Yeah. Now, also when we're saying subscribe to the page, this is free.
Yes.
It just means that you get notified every time we come on.
Yeah,
pure and simple.
It's absolutely free. It will not cost you anything. And if you have, and I tell you what we'll do, and on future posts, we'll actually put up there. If you, for some reason, you don't know how, we'll find somebody online that shows you how to do so, and we'll post that so you can see it's free and it's easy to sign up on YouTube. And really, there's a couple of reasons why you want to do that. Number one, Victor just said the Dirty White Boys actually typed and got in trouble. So YouTube, very rarely does that happen. So you can go to YouTube and sign up there, and you won't have to. You maybe not have to worry about being in Facebook jail for 3 days because we talk about something on wrestling. Because we talk about angles, we talk about programs, we talk about fights. Sometimes that does not go very over on Facebook. So please sign up, free. Let's just subscribe. You go there and subscribe, and it's absolutely free. And that way we all keep ourselves out of trouble. Jason Hawkins is with us. Great getting to meet and talk with you guys in Dalton last week. It was so much fun to talk old school and walk a mile down memory lane. Rodney talked to him, I think, more than anyone. I think Jack talked to him too. I was taking a nap over in the corner. No, I was there. I was listening to it. Charles, fine for lateness.
We are fine.
Yeah, we ought to. Yeah, that's true. Kevin Finley asked the question. He says, we do the top 100 wrestlers every week, all three. Who do you call the greatest heel in wrestling ever? I'll start it. Ole Anderson.
I will absolutely concur with that. Ole has always been my favorite heel.
And booker. That will be 3 in a row for Ole Anderson. Now, we haven't hit in the top 100 at any time have we had the same pick. But all three of us pick Ole Anderson for this. And yeah, he was.
There was no better. There was nobody better than Ole Anderson. You believed him. You believed that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. And
I'm going to tell you, an Ole Anderson in today's industry would be the top heel.
Yeah.
He's just great.
Michael Barr said we're not fast, but we are. We finally did get on Michael.
Yeah, I tried to tag you, Michael. I don't know if it tagged you or not.
Robert Welch said, hello all. How was the Teddy Long get together go? Was waiting for a video from it. We were having some, again,
More technical difficulties.
No, Georgia does not have the best signals.
It was the Blair Witch Project. We got some shots of our nostrils and stuff like that. But
the get together itself was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, but it just was not a video. One time I was taping and it fell off of the little thing holder I had, and we just deleted all those videos because they came up looking horrible. The sun was shining so much you couldn't see nothing. Didn't matter where you went, the sun was there. I don't know.
Had some really good egg rolls. I have to say they were very good. Yes.
But we didn't get too much video from there. The sun was just blaring, and it just, you could not get good video at all.
Yeah, I shared quite a few pictures if y'all want to go to my Facebook page. So,
we forgot to ask about Kevin what he thought, who his number one was in that.
Yeah, Kevin, let us know who you, maybe who the greatest heel in wrestling to you is. Now, Roddy Piper was pretty good too. You have to give him a nod for that as well. Glenn Allen Shelton, I think we've already said hello to him. Shannon, Kathleen Moore, hello, gentlemen. There's some gentlemen here, and when we find them, we'll get back with you. Wendy Harkins asked the question, Jack, what is your opinion of Baron Black in AEW?
I know Baron Black. Baron Black is an exceptionally talented young man, and I see a huge future ahead of him because not only is he talented, he has great attitude. Just a pleasure to be around, and when guys like that get a foot in the door, I'm just thrilled for him.
He's from Georgia, right? Baron Black. I think I've actually talked to him a couple of times. Last week's Raw, 0.49, SmackDown, 0.50, AEW, 0.48. These are for the live shows from Terrence Hardy.
I must say, and I everybody's going to be shocked, but I thought Raw had the best show last Monday night they've had, and since I've been watching it, I just thought it was a lot of wrestling and not a lot of talk. SmackDown was back to the talk show, but Raw had a lot of wrestling in it last week.
Yeah, it was good. It was, I watched bits and pieces on YouTube. That's where I watch it. And I thought it was good. I thought NXT was spectacular. I thought it has been good since. The camera shot sometimes is a little crazy, but as far as wrestling, and I think the guy's name is what do they call Rick Steiner's son? Something Breaker,
Braun Breaker.
I think he's spectacular.
Yeah, he's going to be good. And for those of you who want to look, I did post a picture of Rick Steiner the other night and titled it, "Look, I'm across the thing from Ron Breaker's dad."
That's right.
But I think he's going to be a huge star for WWE, and I truly believe that. Michael Barr, I am on Facebook now. Prayers to Candy and Charlie. Yes. Philip Todd is with us, girls. Phil Hefner, for those of you also. He had a great event on Thursday in Dalton. We want to thank you so much for inviting us out. We certainly appreciate it. And if we can be of assistance any other time, just let us know. Michael Barr, I think I will become a bounty hunter. You're getting tough.
Hey, Dog is in the area in the southeast now, so be careful.
That's right. You'll have to fight him. Good evening, gentlemen, from Doug Masters. And for those of you who have not seen or watched Doug Masters' podcast, make sure you get over there. Look him up on Facebook. Just Doug Masters.
I noticed Doug is making some changes to his podcast. I'm not sure if that's who carries his podcast or what it is, but he said some announcements coming soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mickey Mayfield said hello from Commerce, Georgia. Glenn Allen only said 147. What's he talking about? Not for sure. What about Dandy Jack Donovan's story where Rodney may or might not have gotten in her? All right, Rodney, I'll let you tell the story.
You tell the story. I'm not sure if I'm quite familiar with that whole story.
Well, here's the story. And I heard this firsthand from my father. He told this story, and the only reason he told the story because I read a portion of the story, and so then I had to ask him about this. What had happened is Tojo Yamamoto was going to go against Jack Donovan. So they send the finish over by our father, Ron West, and they send him over there and tell him what the finish is. Well, Jack Donovan said, I don't know if I want to do that or not. Now, as everyone would like to think, no, Dandy Jack Donovan wasn't going to go over Tojo Yamamoto that night, but he didn't want to get beat as well. So he just went over. He didn't think nothing about it. He just went over and said, hey, Jack said he didn't want to do it. That's all he said. He was new to the wrestling business. He wasn't that he's just new to the wrestling business. He didn't understand that by going over there saying that there would be a problem. Tojo said Tojo just said, That's all he did. Well, that night, Tojo hit him a couple of times with his little shoe, his little wooden shoe. But that wasn't the bad thing that happened to him. The very next morning, I believe it was TV, Jackie Fargo, Jerry Jarrett, Tojo Yamamoto kind of take Jack Donovan into a bathroom and beat him senseless. I mean, beat him bad. And Dad said, I felt really bad because I thought I was the one that caused that. And probably he didn't cause it, but he probably started it. And,
he might have started it, but Tojo, Jarrett, and Jackie finished it.
Yeah.
And what's the lesson to be learned?
Do what you're doing. But this is the thing. Lynn Rossi did not like it. That was one of the problems with Lynn Rossi after that he didn't really want to be too much associated with Jerry Jarrett. If you'll notice, he was more associated with Nick Goulas. He did not like that. He said he should have just been fired, not beat up. Did not like that at all. And I'm not saying that I liked it either, but I'm just saying that did happen, that did occur, and our Ron West did believe that he caused him to get beat up. Anthony Lewis. Sorry, I called him that last time. Hello, guy.
He's going to go off Jefferson's on you and call you Wheezy.
Are you? Did you paint today again?
No, I didn't paint today.
Okay.
I'm just high on life. Can't compare a live show to a tape show.
No, you can't. You can't. Had that discussion today.
Glenn Allen said 3 days, nothing in 60 for Sharon. Is he talking about what we're talking about, or is he somewhere else on another show? I'm not for sure what he's talking about.
We'll have to give us some more explanation of that. Glenn.
Yeah, give us more of an explanation of that, please.
We might have talked about something, and now we've moved on to another subject, and we don't remember where that goes.
Daniel Lang, I don't know. Do y'all know who this is? He says Azudel La Garza, 18-year-old female wrestler shot and killed in Chicago.
No, that's a terrible story.
I saw a story about an 18-year-old female getting killed in Chicago. I did not realize she was a wrestler, though.
Wow.
No.
That's sad.
Richard has said, how you guys doing? Well, except for me messing up people's names and stuff, I'm doing all right, I guess.
We're the same.
Okay, Glenn Allen said he was in Facebook jail for 60 days.
Oh,
that's what he means.
Oh man, well folks, that is the reason we're going to venture our videos and stuff more to YouTube. So make sure you go subscribe, because a lot of people are having that problem on Facebook. They're very sensitive. Very sensitive.
Yes.
So we got to make sure that all of our people are good and not so sensitive on YouTube. So Anthony Lewis, what do you all three? What do all three of you guys think of MLW, NWA, and wrestling from Memphis? I don't believe I've watched any of them.
MLW, I think, is a extremely strong professional wrestling show. I have the same problem with them that I have with AEW and WWE right now as far as language. If you would take that out of it, I think MLW was probably the strongest wrestling product out there. NWA, I've always loved their product. I have not watched since they've came back, which I need to because I know so many people that are there. But they had a comedy aspect to it in their first year that I didn't care for so much. So I don't know if that's still there or not. I'm not going to down them. If they're drawing, and more power to them. The Memphis, are you talking about championship wrestling from Memphis, I think. I don't like that promoter, so I'm not watching that show.
He does kind of have an attitude, doesn't he? We won't even get into that. Kevin Penley said, get well, Charlie Smith. You know it.
You know, Charlie's in there telling every nurse that comes in, I only love you.
Mickey Mayfield said, Ole was my favorite heel. Yes. Glenn Allen Shelton said, go Hollywood Jimmy Ballock. Is that Ballock? How do you say it?
Blaylock.
Blaylock. Okay. Yeah, I've seen him. I'm not gonna say he's a great heel.
Look, something else going on over here.
Ole Anderson was the greatest heel of all time. Yeah, I think so. Michael said Ole was gold as a heel, and yes, he was. Anthony also said, yes, the Andersons Rhodes matches in the 80s were good. Kevin said Roddy Piper. And I will put him number two. Roddy Piper was certainly good in Georgia, and he was certainly good in
well, let's be honest. Everything about WWF exploding was carried on Roddy Piper's shoulders there at the beginning. Yeah,
they would not have been Hulk Hogan as over as he was if there wasn't somebody that they hated as bad as they hated Roddy Piper. And Paul Orndorff and Bob Orton.
Yep.
Bob Orton Jr. Glenn Allen said Ted DiBiase was good as both, and yes, he was very good. He was very good at that. I always liked him better as a heel as a babyface. Robert Welch said the greatest heel was the original Sheik, I think. And I think he was. I was never a fan of the Sheik, though. For some reason, I just wasn't. Michael Barr said, Brett, did you send the picture of the bounty on Kevin Sullivan that I shared you? You know what? I believe I forgot to do that, Michael. Yeah, but by the way, Rodney, there was a bounty that said $5,000 to anybody can take Kevin Sullivan out. And I said, well, Rodney may try it. It was actually when he was working Knoxville, Southeastern Championship Wrestling. I think Les Thatcher said, I don't think no one ever did. Oh, by the way,
I believe that bounty was by Ron Wright, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Okay.
Wendy Harkins said, Brent Rodney, will y'all ever come to Russell South? Well, one of these days we will. I would love to see you guys again. By the way, Russell South, the date?
Our next big event is Saturday, October 30th. Come out and have a big Halloween night with us. Bring the kids, dress them up. There's going to be candy, and I may yell at somebody.
There you go. And that could happen. Doug said, thank you for the plug. You are certainly welcome, Doug. Terrence Hardy. Jack, what did you think about Alexa Bliss last night?
I thought she got a great response coming to the ring. Even though Xfinity decided to run a commercial right during the entrance. But other than that, she got a great response last night. I thought they had a good match. And now she got beat. Of course, my understanding is that she's going to be taking an extended period of time off, which was already planned. So the finish of the match and, the everything that they did towards the end of the match makes perfect sense now. Now, my daughter, my 12-year-old was not happy.
Did you see? What was the show that just did? Was it Sunday night? Elimination? Was it Elimination? Something?
Yeah,
WWE?
it was
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules. Did you hear about maybe the finish between Finn Balor and I'm not for sure now who? I guess it was Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
That they did almost the Fiend they almost did the same thing with him where he just come up from nowhere after getting a spear, I believe.
I saw that. Yeah, well, they were on the outside, and they had done the thing where I think Roman had speared him through the barricade, and they were both laid out. And then the lights start going out, and the red lights start coming on, and then Balor just jumped straight up to his feet. Yeah, it was. Now that's his thing, though. I mean, I can see the comparisons with the Fiend, but they've done similar stuff like that with the Demon before
on NXT, right?
Yeah.
And then, which I thought was spectacular, the jumping on the rope and it breaks. I thought that was great, even though people didn't like it.
I thought it was good, but boy, we're in a small company.
A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was very good. I thought it was a tremendous way, tremendous that has not ever been done. So I applaud WWE for that finish.
And they probably spent more money making that work the way they did than we could buy a whole new ring for.
This is true. Right. Tremendous stuff, though. I did see a video on it, and I liked it. I didn't much care for the, how they got there. But I think that if they wouldn't have done the stuff before then, man, that would have got such great impact when he had done it and fell. But, it just seemed like, man, how did he come back from that? That's what you were thinking. But he is the Demon, so which is very fiendish. Or maybe the Fiend was very demonish. I don't know. I don't know which one came first. So I'm guessing Finn Balor did that way before they had the Fiend, right?
So,
Brian Young, greatest heel, Gorgeous George, Freddie Blassie, maybe Buddy Rogers, modern Piper had heat, Buddy Colt had major heat. So many great heels. Every one of those people, tremendous. What do you think, Ron?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing about Piper, though, you never expect him to turn. He never turned on you. Ole would. There's always three people I've always said never to team with. That's Ole Anderson, Jimmy Golden, and Jerry Stubbs, because they will turn on you.
Yeah, that's true. This is true. Now I have to give. Now Ole only turned on. He only turned once. He turned babyface and he turned heel. Never turned babyface again, did he?
Well, you're.
Now I take it back. He did go against the Four Horsemen, didn't he?
Yeah, he went again, and he turned on Thunderbolt. He turned.
Some people you can't trust that Ole Anderson. Then
they beat him. Ole and Gene beat up Art Nelson in the cage. So you can't don't team with him. Turn on you. He turned on Stan Hansen. So it's just
that's true.
A long list of people he's turned on.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Billy Corgan's NWA? We just talked about that. I have only watched bits and pieces of it. I didn't like it. It almost seemed like the crowd was prompted, like they were told to do what they did,
and they didn't know who the wrestlers were. As when I watched the show, they act like they didn't have a clue about who the wrestlers were at all.
Like some guy came out and go, okay, now,
yeah,
in just a moment, Joe Sky is going to come out. Now, he's the bad guy, so you want to boo for him. And he's going to go against Billy Sky. That's his brother. Now, he's the good guy. Now, you need to cheer for him. Now, I tell you what, y'all are going to get confused. So let's bring them out so you know this is the good guy. This is the bad guy. This is who you're going to boo. This is going to, okay, y'all get it? Y'all got it? All right, fine. Let's go. That's how it seemed to me.
Well, to me, it looked like they just went out and got random people off the street to come on in there. They didn't know exactly what production they were going to watch. They just going to be on TV. And that's how they responded, because the reaction of the crowd is not a wrestling reaction to me. It was not. It was forced. It's kind of forced.
Let me ask y'all this question, because I've not watched it. The YouTube After Dark. Is that what it's called? AEW After Dark?
I believe so.
Or Into the Dark, or whatever. It's done at Universal Studios, correct?
Yep.
Is that fan base? Is that fans, or is that just people who are able to come in and watch?
People who are there, and they just rotate them in and out every 3 hours.
You're never going to get the right response from that. You're just not, because those people are just there to see a production. They don't know what they're seeing. They don't know what they're watching. So it didn't work for WCW. All right, it just didn't work for them.
TNA did the same process there for several years too, and it always seemed flat.
Yeah, I don't think it's a smart idea. When you continually do the same thing that didn't work for many, many people, it didn't work for TNA, it didn't work for WCW. Why do you think you can make it work? And that was in a time that wrestling had more people watching it. So how are you going to be able to do it? I mean, I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just saying, if you look from past and the past mistakes, why would you make those mistakes again? I don't understand that. Just because you've got millions and millions of dollars, so did Ted Turner. Probably had more money than they.
Well, personally, I think they've missed the boat, because they should bring Dixie Carter in and let her tell them how to do it, and then do the exact opposite of whatever she said.
That would be perfect. Now, where exactly does he say his office is? Where Corrigan's office? Where is that?
I'm not really sure.
They don't have a headquarters out of anywhere.
I'm sure he does, but I'm not really sure where he is.
Maybe traveling out of the backseat of the car or something, out of the trunk.
Hey, it might be a bus. He was part of them Smashing Pumpkins. So, could be this the tour bus.
Well, the question mark, who was a part of the NWA, a friend of mine, he passed away last year, sadly, but he and Corrigan were best friends. And he used to shoot ideas at me on the road because they went on an extended road trip to discuss all their plans about the NWA. So technically, the office was in the back of the car.
There you go.
So they don't have an office.
Not to say that road trips didn't come up with good ideas. You do.
Well, that's where great ideas did come from. The road trips from town to town. Yep, it wasn't like the WWE's plane ride from hell. It was nothing like that. You actually drove somewhere, and every one of them guys should have been fired.
Yeah, and if you ever watch that, y'all will understand why Jack Lord always traveled alone.
And why me and Rodney stayed to ourselves. If most wrestlers were at Motel C, we were at Motel G. We make sure we stayed across.
I can verify that from California.
That's right. Yes, I did not stay at the same place the wrestlers stayed. I got my own motel room there, and it was so Theo. There were two wrestlers. I won't say their names, but they come and stayed with me. They didn't want to be over there as well. So that's what we always did. That we were considered office personnel, so we made sure we stayed out of problems. I always loved Masked Superstar as a heel. He never raised his voice or ran and raved, but when he said something, you totally dialed in and hung into his every word. Jason, you are correct.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that.
By the way, Jack Lord's favorite wrestler, Masked Superstar.
Overall, favorite heel. Still Ole, but favorite overall wrestler always will be Superstar.
Yes, so true. When Toombs came to town, by the way, for those of you who don't know, that's Roddy Piper. Kevin Penley, Roddy and Buddy Rose dominated West Coast wrestling. Yes, boy, he did. I'm telling you, the stuff that Roddy Piper did while he was in California, you could not do today. There ain't no way you get away with that. There's no way. Abdullah the Butcher is the best heel. He was good. But you only could take a little bit of Abdullah before he'd do the same thing over and over again. You know, people talk about Ric Flair doing the same thing. Now, Abdullah had a tendency to hit people with a fork a lot. And after a while, you just you bury your referees. Abdullah Butcher just bury referees left and right. Because he'd have that thing would be this big, and he'd be jabbing them with them. The referee ain't supposed to see that. You're thinking, why can't you see that? That thing is huge. I could see it. I was in the top of the Omni, and I saw it. How could you not see that, referee? I think we used to tell Dad that. Did you not see that? He had it there. It was huge.
You've got to have blind people have to have jobs too. And back then it was being a referee.
This is true. The Mongolian Stomp and the Assassin were two great heels. Yes. I'll give you that. Jason Hawkins also said they were a team and not singles, but in the early 80s, the fabulous Freebirds were the absolutely perfect heels to play off the Von Erichs. The fans hated them so much. The fans cheered the Von Erich boys even more. I would agree with that. One of the greatest feuds of all time in professional wrestling. We're going to talk about great moments tomorrow during our Insider Nation for the people who support our channel. And we're going to talk about, and that's going to be one of the greatest moments of all time. Michael Hayes. And coming in as Santa Claus. One of the matches. Rope breaks. Yes, that was in the thing. New Jack was an able heel. Boy, people, he could get some heat. Man could talk. Ain't no doubt he could talk. Christian Pierce, I believe that's the bun, right? Yes, the bun. I'm glad you caught you guys this week. Respect the bun.
He's something. I don't know what he is. Vertically challenged a lot of time because he's on his back every time I look out there in the ring. But.
Dick Slater, a good heel. Yes. Terry Funk, a good heel. Richard said, yes. They were tremendous. Terry Funk was kind of borderline. You love to hate him because you wanted to see him. No doubt, Dick Slater, you wanted to see him. Dennis Mitchell, Vic Raines in Southeastern was a good bad guy. You remember of him? Oh man, Dennis, you ain't gonna like this. Boy, he had some boring matches with Jacques Rougeau. And them things would put you to sleep.
He was the Canadian Wildcat, Brent.
Yes, the Canadian Wildcat. Jack, you remember Vic Raines?
No, thankfully I don't.
Yeah, you didn't miss him. Rodney.
Now, we have to remember Jacques Rougeau was in South Alabama trying to get the people, instead of screaming USA, hollering USA, USA, try to get them to say Canada, Canada. And we made fun of him. We were relentless. They're not going to say Canada. He said, yes, they will. I said, no, they won't. And he would get the microphone and get it started. And when he set the microphone down, they just stop.
It was.
I said, they're not going to chant Canada. It's not going to do it. Yes, they will. No, they won't. In fact, he got on TV and said, I want people to start. I want to be made like I feel like I'm at home. I want people to go, Canada, Canada. It didn't happen.
Vic just didn't. I just never felt. Did he ever go anywhere after that?
I'm not sure.
I don't think I ever heard him anywhere.
And if he might have changed his name and went as something else. I would have after that.
Well, I think it was there that he was going against Vic Rain, and we were in Mobile, Alabama. We were at the Expo Hall there, and he was going against Jacques Rougeau, Vic Rain, and they were wrestling. The two Canadians are going to wrestle on this event.
Canada.
Yeah, and we get in the car, and Jacques Rougeau asked the question. He said, "How was my match tonight?" And Rodney, actually, we wasn't trying to be smart like or nothing, because we actually were in line at the concession stand.
Getting some French fries.
And Dad looked over and said, well, I guess that tells what people thought about you.
It made him mad. He went to sleep and went and talked to the whole rest of the way back to Pensacola.
Yeah, he didn't like he got a little upset about that. Freddie Blassie, great heel, even as a manager, tremendous. Hello to the Mid-South.
Hey.
Richard Hood, Ric Flair, and Ole would turn on you. You can't trust them. Yeah, Ric Flair is another one of them you can't trust on. Michael Barr says he's the best heel.
There you go.
Daniel Lane said never tag with Shawn Michaels. You'll never see it coming. This is true.
Yes.
Dennis Mitchell, Billy Corgan is better than Dixie Carter.
Well, that's not a high standard. Let's just be honest.
Hulk Hogan could never keep a tag team partner. Boy, that's true.
Correct. He is absolutely right.
Mickey Mayfield said Ernie Ladd turned on everyone at least once.
That's exactly right.
I never even met Ernie, and he turned on me once.
Guys, they got a show coming in Atlanta. I guess we're talking about the NWA, the National Wrestling
League. Where will they be in Atlanta, Richard?
I'm gathering the center stage. Was
that for TV taping?
When they talk about hardcore wrestling, you always hear about the Sheik, Abdullah, and Terry Funk. But Wild Bill Curry was hardcore before all of them. I never saw him, but did hear about him.
And Gypsy Joe.
Dennis Mitchell says, because history repeats itself. We were talking about why you would just do what you did. Christian Pierce, the Bun, is Jack's favorite wrestler.
I need a hamburger between that bun because that boy ain't got no meat at all.
Richard Ed said, what makes a good heel is you can't trust them. Yes, this is true. That's what made Jack good. You couldn't trust him either. He was that devious heel. You could not.
And to me, the most important quality of being an effective heel is you have to be justified in what you do.
That's exactly true. Yes. Kevin Penley, did Abdullah have plastic forks in his restaurant? I hope he did. You get stabbed before you went in there with a knife in the head.
And he would put tape on them and sell them to you for $40.
Kevin Sullivan was great. I'm sorry, Richard. I just can't go with that. I thought Kevin was very good as babyface. I thought he was tremendous in that position. But boy, when they turned him heel in Atlanta, I just couldn't stomach it.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep from throwing at myself.
Stan Hansen was a great heel. They turned him way too many times on it. Nick Bockwinkel. Now, we all agree Nick Bockwinkel, one of the greatest. He was very good. Missouri Mauler was a great heel. I don't know, did Joe ever watch him wrestle?
I never got to see him.
I only heard of him, and primarily through the programs that we had from the Carolinas that Jimmy Dykes had sent Dad. Huge star there.
Larry Vanderpool, Terry Funk would always make you laugh.
Yes. Yes. And he's always up.
It wasn't comedy of today, though.
No, it was. What is he going to do next? I mean, I watched him against Manny Fernandez, and he wrestled. It looked like he wrestled a chair, and he was caught in his own chaps. he
would do stuff that would make you laugh, but it would almost, in a way, be detrimental to his character. Yes. But he was such a strong heel.
Yes,
it never hurt him.
And he got back in the curtains, and he got kind of lost in the curtains. And it was right after it. I mean, and it made sense that he was knocked silly because Fernandez knocked him out of the ring. And so he was staggering around and trying to get his stuff off and into the chair and those curtains. It was good stuff. Good stuff. And there's some great stuff of Terry in big time wrestling in Michigan as well.
Memphis, too. Tremendous stuff from Memphis.
Yeah.
Georgia. No matter where he went, he was great.
He was.
Thunderbolt Patterson was a good heel. Ox Baker was a good heel.
Yes.
Great Muta. I never thought Great Muta was a great heel. I thought he should be babyface. I never thought, because he did so many great moves. I never thought he should be. I think his moves were more spectacular than anything that babyface was doing.
I thought he was a good heel, but I thought he was a great babyface.
Yeah, I just always thought that's what he should have been. I just the Stud Stable with some great, Robert Fuller, Jimmy Golden was very good. And Ron Fuller, they were all great heels. Ron Simmons was a great heel. I always liked him better as a babyface. I thought Ron Simmons was better there. Mr. Fuji was a great heel. Plus a great ribber, by the way. I think he might have won the award for the great ribber awards in there. John Tolis and Blassie in the early 70s. Anthony, Ken Batera. I loved him everywhere but Georgia. For some reason, he just didn't do nothing for me in Georgia. I don't know why. I think it's sometimes who they replace. And it was, it wasn't Ken Batera's fault. He just didn't fit. Ernie Ladd was a great heel. Ladd versus Nelson Royal and Tex McKenzie.
I just saw that not too terribly long ago.
Richard Hood said Channel 8. They're taping the show at Channel 8 in Atlanta.
Apparently so.
I did not know they even had a place. Jock wrestled with a wrestler by the name of Pierce as they wrestled as the Quebecers. Yes. Adrian Street, very underrated heel. Yes. Had a lot of heat in Continental. Man. Do not forget Jack's. Don't forget the T-shirts, Jack.
ProWrestlingTees.com, Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. Go buy your T-shirts. There's all kinds of stuff, and we got new designs coming. I know we've been saying that, but they are.
We are working. I'm just trying to see if there's something on here because we are running out of time. Even though we came on late, we have to get over to our other thing that we tell people we're going to be a part of. So, Ken Wayne and Danny Davis, they were tremendous heels. Yes, they were. They were tremendous. And I will admit, Jason said this when Andre turned in 1987. There's not a bigger villain in the fans' eyes, and I will agree with that.
Here, let's get this one real quick. Christian Pierce, why am I not in this conversation for best heel? I'm a heat-seeking missile, and I could sell chicken to KFC. And I will hand it to Christian Pierce. At Wrestle South, there is nobody that has more heat behind the scenes than Christian Pierce.
What are you trying to do, Christian? You're trying to get Shawn Michaels. You're trying to take over Shawn Michaels' spot. All right, Jack. Anything we need to talk to the people about before we leave?
No, just the Pro Wrestling Tees. Go hit us up. Go buy a shirt. Help us out. Stay tuned.
Also, subscribe to YouTube. Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. It's youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Inside Out. Subscribe to it, as in time, you never know. That's where everything may end up being. So make sure that you subscribe. Rodney, anything we need to say to the people before we leave?
Christian must be a Paul Roma fan. That's what Anthony Lewis was saying. Mickey Mayfield was asking a question. Wrestling 2 was different in some other places, Mid-South and Southeastern. He was asking if that would have worked in Georgia. I say yes, it would have.
It would have, especially against Tommy Rich. And I did it. So.
And the thing about it is that it's not where people would have bought it. It's the great professionalism and the expertise of Johnny Walker would have been able to make anything work.
I agree. All right, tomorrow night, top 100 wrestlers. As we continue our list, I believe we're at 78. Are we not at 78?
77 or 78. I can't remember.
Let me see my list here. My list is we are at 78.
All right, 78. All right, there we go. 78 tomorrow. Jack will tell his, Rodney will tell her. If you've watched the Facebook post, if you're a Facebook fan, there we go. I'm not for sure what even Christian Pierce named.
Christian Pierce just said Jesus, and you don't have to be so formal. Just call me Lord.
We will see everybody tomorrow night as do that. All kinds of things going to come up. We're hoping next year things improve in this crazy world we live in. But and we'll see everybody tomorrow. And for those Insider Nation, we'll see you in just a moment.